Hi, I'm Jacob, and you're not watching the Disney Channel.
Yeah, you're actually listening to Bonus Bite, part of our show where instead of doing a full length episode, we're just going to dive right into a topic and just talk about it for 5 to 10 minutes. Perfect length that you can be in the car, listening to it while you're driving, listening to it while you work. Something brief, just straight to the point where we talk about something that we want to, like we always do on this show. Before we get
Yeah.
started, I'd like to say please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please give us 5 stars on Spotify if you can. And also, if you are willing to donate, please go over to our Patreon. We just launched it. And please be one of the first people to support us on Patreon. Thanks. Now, let's get right into the topic. Jacob, you want to introduce what we're going to talk about today?
Yeah, so we're going to be talking about our favorite Star Wars movies. I'll start with my number one favorite. So you see, it's a classic. It's called Revenge of the Sith. Now,
Oh, that's a good one.
it's a good one. You got the clones, executing Order 66. Spoilers, I'm sorry. You had so many
Okay,
years.
yeah, you had
You
literally
went
what, like, yeah,
like a
no.
long time to see it.
What you,
Um,
what year did they come out? 2005. You've had
yeah,
17, almost 18 years to see it.
yeah. So yeah. Was
Yeah,
there
if
something
you
that
don't know that or that Order 66 happens in that movie,
you're not a Star Wars fan?
yeah, I guess you're just not a Star Wars fan. I guess some people aren't.
Um, but since I'm a big prequels guy, it's probably always gonna be a person who's prequels fan
Yeah,
favorite movie. And
definitely.
like you got Obi-Wan, and in my opinion, he probably knew that Padme and Anakin were married. Like, no way he not.
Yeah, exactly. I agree.
He's like, oh no, he was married. Oh
Yeah,
man,
it's not like he almost pulled the exact same move himself.
he definitely didn't leave the Jedi. Almost leave the Jedi Order for a Mandalorian lady. That's a
Yeah,
different story though. Watch Clone Wars. I won't spoil that for you.
but you could because it's also been out for
Yeah, it's been
for
out
for
for a
the
while.
same amount of time, I think.
We'll just say Obi-Wan has a girl and stuff happens. Darth Maul's there,
Darth
so
Maul is there. Hey, surprise, he's not dead.
he's not dead. Somehow
He
Darth Maul
some
changed.
somehow Darth
Yeah.
Maul returned. Speaking of the sequel trilogy, you know
The
what I don't like?
like
I
is
don't
the
like the sequel trilogy. So I'm gonna say my least favorite Star Wars movie. My least favorite Star Wars movie has to be the newest one, the Skywalker Saga. It was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. It is the only Star Wars movie I've only ever seen once. I've seen every single other Star Wars movie as far
yeah.
as I know. I've seen them probably at minimum 3 or 4 times. But even some of the sequels I've seen 3 or 4 times. But that movie
Wait.
I cannot stand to watch at all.
Yeah.
Last Jedi was pretty bad, but Skywalker Saga is so much worse. There's no real plot. The storyline's terrible. The characters have no real arc, and then Rey just decides she identifies as a Skywalker at the end. Like that just doesn't work. There's nothing there. There's no real plot to it.
Well, the one thing I think they did bad about the sequel trilogy was basically they, instead of being like how the prequels did it and like took the Star Wars universe and took it in like a different way, which was how George Lucas did it and how he would have done with the sequels. They just kept the stinking plans he had, which is a different story for a different time. We can get into that. But basically, they wanted it to be like the originals, and that's not what worked out.
Yeah, they were like, what if we just make new Death Star and we have the exact same type of plot with the same characters?
New Vader, who likes old Vader, Ray, who they didn't know what to do with. Like literally, that is the
And then
actual.
it's like, let's introduce characters people love, but then let's murder them real quick.
No, that was the actual interview with the actor of Ray. So this person goes, so how, so did you know anything that you were doing in the like what the character development was? And she went, no, they usually changed it like every movie.
Yeah,
Like
it's the sequels are just so disappointing, and they could have used the books. The books are so good. I haven't read all the books, but I've read a couple of them. And like even if they had just taken something from the books, because the books are set right after the original trilogy,
you
and
have
they have the actual characters people like, and like it would have just made sense. And that's basically what they're doing with the Mandalorian. The Mandalorian is set right afterwards. It's set in a universe where literally like Luke Skywalker and all those characters are the ones running the galaxy, and
So
yeah,
I'll
it's just
ask you
set
about that.
well.
Do you think that they're actually going to reset the Star Wars universe, or do you think they're going to keep the sequels?
I would absolutely love if they reset. If they just do some sort of official thing where it's just like that movie trope where oh I woke up, it was all a bad dream. That would be
No,
hilarious.
no. Here's what
Have
they do.
Mark Hamill come on, and it's the start of the movie, and he just like it shows a little bit of the sequel trilogy, and then it just cuts to him waking up and goes, "What was that?" And
No,
then it's just the
here's how they
actual show.
So they just explained that Poe Dameron was what's that one Marvel show, Moon Knight?
Yeah,
They just
Moon
say
Knight.
it was just a different personality, guys, that was going on in his head.
Yeah, that would be funny.
That
Oh,
would
so
be-
what's your least favorite Star Wars movie, Jacob? Least favorite.
Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
I've seen Last Jedi. It's bearable. It's barely bearable.
Yeah,
But
I
when
can
saw-
watch. I've watched Last Jedi more than once. That's what I'll say. I can't say the same about that for Skywalker Saga.
and they did Finn so dirty. Like he was supposed to be with Rey, and that was always the plan. But then he's like, "Rey, I have something to tell you," and then he gets swept under the quicksand.
Yeah, honestly, I think that whole movie was weak. Is that the one? Which one's the one with Yoda in it? Is that Last Jedi?
No, Yoda's never in.
Yes,
Oh,
he is. He's in
well, he
one of the
is.
sequels.
He's in the Last Jedi.
I
Yeah.
thought that Yoda looked a little strange.
You did.
Yeah. I'm gonna do typing time real quick. Let's see. Typing time. I was about to type in the word typing time. Yoda, Last Jedi
You see, this is
images. Yeah. Let me find an image. Oh yeah, here. Let me. I'll put it in the Discord real quick.
yeah. You see, we're recording this over a Discord call right now.
We're recording it over a Discord call because we do not have an in-person studio. If we
Yeah.
could,
We're not that. We're not
we're
that.
not
rich.
that. Hey, sponsor us on Patreon, and maybe you're $1.
Oh my
a month.
gosh, he does look weird.
I know he looks really weird.
He looks really green.
For people who are watching this, oh sorry for the loud noise. People who are watching this on YouTube, I will insert a image of Yoda real quick. This is
Yeah.
what he looks like. He looks absolutely terrible. It
He
was
looks-
it was just a bad choice.
Well, I think that the one thing they did is, I know this is what the entire Star Wars fan base says, is they made Luke not what he was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Luke was supposed to be this like hero character.
Yeah.
Also, well, it's kind of a thing with any female character nowadays. They made it a Mary Sue, so
Yeah. Oh, I should probably at least say my favorite movie before we end our
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Because we're hitting pretty close to the wrap up time. The red light's coming on. No, I'm just kidding. We don't have a red light because we don't have a studio.
Yeah.
But no, I should say my favorite Star Wars movie. My favorite Star Wars movie is Return of the Jedi, Episode 6.
it's a classic.
The third one in the original trilogy. I just feel like the prequels are so good, but the prequels wouldn't be able to exist without the original trilogy. And that's why I kind of always have like a little sweet spot for the original trilogy. And also, the acting's pretty good. The writing is always terrible, but it's funny terrible, which makes it good. Like, the writing itself is good, but the dialogue is it's just so funny.
Okay,
It's-
I have to bring up something. The people who say the Empire is better, I'm gonna say this. You guys are wrong. Like the Rebels are so cool. Like watch Rebels and you'll see why they're
Yeah.
like the better faction.
No, what I was gonna say is no, seriously, the Luke tell your uncle to go to Luke tell uncle to go to Tashi Station to pick up some power converters. That line is just it's so terribly written because it doesn't sound like something anybody would ever say, and all of Obi-Wan's lines are like almost complete gibberish. But it's such a funny movie, the original, the first one. And by Return of the Jedi, it was done pretty well. The
'Cause they
dialogue
had
was a
money.
lot better. Yeah, they had money. I think it's a great movie. I think it has a great arc. Like it's one that you can watch in itself because like unlike with Empire Strikes Back, there's just like it has to take the first movie It has to make it into a sequel, but then it has to push the ending so that you have to watch Return of the Jedi. So that's my thing, is you can't really watch Empire Strikes Back as a standalone movie, because you're at the end, it's like, oh, what's going to happen to Han? You don't really know. I mean, obviously, you know if you're a Star Wars fan, but
He dies, guys. That's what
he
happens.
dies. No, he dies in the sequel trilogy. You know, it was originally written for him to die in Return of the Jedi.
We'll get.
They just thought it would. They thought it would reduce toy sales if he died. They actually thought that. I'm pretty sure that was the logic. The
Like,
the
like
toy
one scene-
sales.
it's like that one scene in Spaceballs where it's that one guy. I can't. We'll explain that movie in a later date.
Well, I've seen it. It's a very weird movie.
It's a very weird but funny movie.
Yes. Anyway, so that's my favorite movie.
We're running
Jacob,
out of
any
time.
other Star Wars comments before we have to go?
What's your favorite character?
Oh, favorite character? Oh my goodness. That's a tough one. It's not Jar Jar Binks. I'll tell you, it's not Jar Jar Binks.
Nobody. Jar Jar Binks is like the Funko of the Star Wars universe.
Yes, he's the Funkle. You know what? I think we're gonna have to come back to that. Maybe I'll answer it on a later episode. Jacob, do you know what your favorite character is off the bat?
Thrawn, but you guys might not know. who that
Thrawn?
is.
Oh, Thrawn's pretty cool. Yeah.
Thrawn?
But he like barely exists in the actual universe.
Yeah, like he's just like there sometimes.
He's like, they're like, he's canon, but he's barely canon.
That's what I think they should have done for the sequels. But we'll get into that a different day. What I thought they should have done for the sequels. I have a whole entire.
Yeah, we could do that as another bonus bite, or maybe even another full episode. Let us know in the comments if you're watching this on YouTube or Patreon. And if you're listening to this on Spotify, please check out our other sources. I'd like to thank our sponsor for this episode, Sam Shakmayev. He's there was a little voice crack there, but it's all right. Sam Shakmayev, he's sponsoring us on Patreon, and he's just an awesome person to have sponsoring the show. If you want to be just like him and sponsor our show, please do that over on Patreon. There's bonus material. I know in previous episodes we mentioned the subscription on Spotify, but it seems like we're going to phase that out and move towards Patreon, just because that allows us to do a few different things that we're interested in doing. Other than that, I think we're done, right, Jacob?
Yep.
All right.
See you guys later.
Yeah, thanks for tuning into the bonus bite. See you sometime very, very soon. See ya.